Now, when it comes to original creations, Dua has a lot of them. But in this recent release, depending on when I'm publishing this video, they've actually collaborated with a YouTuber, David Venegas. He has a channel called Oh So Fresh. This is his second time creatively directing a fragrance for the brand. This one is called ESF2 One Night Stand. I'm excited to give you my thoughts on this fragrance, so make sure to stay tuned. Now, before I begin today's review of Oh So Fresh 2 One Night Stand, a collaboration with a YouTuber named David Venegas, I do want to start things off by mentioning that if you are a fan of fragrance-related content, please do consider supporting the channel by subscribing to it. Hit that bell icon so you can be notified whenever I do upload future videos to the channel. And of course, give this video a thumbs up if you learned something today, or simply if you took something of value from today's episode. Now, truth be told, I've never tried the first Oh So Fresh collaboration. Very bright and citrusy from what I've read online, and I am a member of some of the Facebook groups, and I saw people praising it and saying some really positive things about it. Now, this is a darker expression, as if you couldn't already tell by the color of the bottle. I love the dark, red at the bottom with the black at the top with the gold hardware. I think it looks really, really classy. Now, taking a look at the note breakdown, you have ginger, coriander, cardamom, amber, Madagascan vanilla that's been aged for 30 years, a bourbon-soaked Maduro tobacco, a fireball, cinnamon accord. I mean, this is a really interesting fragrance with caramel and patchouli and so many other wonderful ingredients. And it is definitely a darker expression, something that you want to wear maybe on a date night or clubbing or later in the evenings when the sun sets and things start to get a little bit more mysterious and romantic, or romantically mysterious, who knows. Anyways, this is an awesome fragrance and it was sent to me by David. So David, thank you so much for sending this to me. It really means a lot to me. I do want to disclose that, but I'm excited to give you my thoughts on this smell. Let's start things off with the presentation. So right in the opening of this fragrance, you are going to get the spices. So you're going to get the cinnamon. The cinnamon is upfront, loud and clear, and it's a beautifully sweet cinnamon accord, a little spicy, a little boozy. And of course, not only is it this fireball accord, and so that in and of itself is a boozy ingredient or a boozy accord, but it also has the bourbon-soaked Maduro tobacco. So you have the bourbon, you have the fireball. So it has this spiciness, and the sweetness is complemented so well by the caramel. So you give it a chance to dry down that gourmand touch that is hiding in the background, lingering in the background. It starts to come out, and I'm telling you, it's a really warm, sweet, cozy, sensual, and flirtatious blend. And of course, with a name like One Night Stand, that's kind of what you would expect from this fragrance. Now, in terms of the spices, here's the hierarchy. Cinnamon is right at the top. You're gonna get more cinnamon than anything. Coriander is actually secondary to that because it actually comes across rather clean in its approach. And then the third one would be the cardamom. The cardamom is not overly strong in this fragrance, and there are some ingredients that I think are getting overshadowed by other ingredients in the blend. Rose, for example, I'm not getting a whole lot of rose from it. Amber, yes, because in terms of the sweetness, I think I'm getting more caramel than vanilla. So I think what the vanilla does is it contributes to that amber accord. It's a little warm, it's a little resinous and balsamic, but I don't think that the vanilla is a star player, at least in the dry down. So it opens up with this spicy, cinnamony vibe in the opening, which is really, really well done. And the sweetness is bridged with the assistance of the caramel. So you have the spicy sweetness in the opening. As it starts to dry down, you get the amber, the vanilla, the caramel, all of these other gourmand ingredients. And I feel like the fixatives, or the weight of the fragrance, is really a combination of the tobacco and the patchouli. Now, as I smell it, I do pick up on something green from it. Now, it's kind of difficult to determine whether that green quality is coming from the cardamom or the patchouli, but I'm more inclined to say that it's coming from the patchouli because I do perceive a certain earthiness. And cardamom, while it is bright and herbal and aromatic, and it almost has like a eugenol-y vibe, I'm not getting that from this particular fragrance, but I am getting that characteristic earthiness, not dirtiness, but earthiness that I do get from a lot of other patchouli fragrances. So I'm definitely inclined to say that there's there's a nice amount of patchouli, which kind of takes it into the amber territory, which is really, really nice. What I love about this fragrance is that it smells exotic, it smells rich, it smells luxurious, it smells ultra niche. There is nothing like this on the designer market that is going to even hold a candle to this fragrance. A lot of designer fragrances, they seem to follow the trends. There's a lot of trend following in the niche industry, of course, as well, but there is nothing as expressive as this fragrance on the designer side of things. So I would definitely encourage you, if you are a fan of cinnamon, if you're a fan of gourmand fragrances, if you're looking for something dark, deep, sensual, mysterious, exotic, and high quality, ESF2 One Night Stand is an awesome, awesome fragrance for that. I just love how different this smells, and it stands out among everything else in my collection. So I look forward to maybe a third collaboration in the future. I'm really wishing you all the best, David and Massam. You know, these are two really, really hardworking individuals. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to cover this fragrance on my channel. Let's go ahead and finish things off with my overall assessment. Now, first up, in terms of the uniqueness and the overall smell, certainly a unique fragrance here. I'm thinking about all of the other fragrances that I have in my collection, even some cinnamon-inspired fragrances. Nothing smells quite like this fragrance. Really stands out, really original. I appreciate the uniqueness. Longevity is 10 plus hours. Projection was amazing for the first hour of application. It did radiate a little bit beyond an arm's length. It didn't even start to sit closer to the skin until about that 6 to 7 hour mark. In terms of the versatility, great for the evenings after the sun sets. In terms of the seasons that the notes evoke, I would say autumn and winter. I think it's perfectly unisex. Anybody of any age can wear this one. However, I do see the sweetness appealing to somebody who's perhaps a little bit younger. And in terms of the presentation, I've done reviews of this type of a presentation from Dua Fragrances, so I do like the presentation on this one very much. My final verdict on this fragrance is, for what it's worth, for the notes that are in here, for the accords that this fragrance aims to exemplify, I think it's done a really wonderful job with the creative direction of David Venegas. I'm gonna leave his channel down below, so definitely make sure to check him out. This is an original creation, very unique, very different, very long lasting, and high quality as far as my nose can perceive. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. That was my review of Oh So Fresh 2 One Night Stand by Dua Fragrances. If you own or have tried this fragrance, please let me know what you think. Leave a comment down below. Also, please don't forget to support this channel by subscribing to it if you enjoyed today's review. Hit the bell icon so you could be notified whenever I do upload these daily videos to YouTube. And of course, give this video a thumbs up if you learned something today or if you took something of value from today's episode. Thanks again for watching. Love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.